Hi, I'm Medha, a co-founder of Defog. This is an intro to what Defog does. Defog helps enterprises deploy fine-tuned large language models for data analysis. Our users ask questions of their data in plain English and get relevant data back from Defog. Let's say I run marketing for a platform that sells concert tickets. I want to know more about how many shows our users are attending and kind of have a breakdown across the number of shows. So my question over here is what percentage of users visited less than 3 shows, between 4 and 10 shows, and more than 10 shows? Cool, so this is what Defog returned. It gave me an explanation over here of how it's answering this question. I've got a table over here with all of the data and a chart over here as well that I can look at very quickly. What's really interesting is the query that it's actually generated to answer this question. So first, it's looking at the number of shows each user has attended. It's then grouping them by the category that I defined in my question. It's calculating the total number of users that are there in a database, and then it's calculating the percentage over here. Now, let's say I want to ask a follow-up question. I want to go a bit deeper. I want to know more specifically about our users from California. So I'm going to ask about what percentage of users from California are visiting a show in each state and what their average spend is in these states. Cool, so we have the data over here. We can see the total number of users from California. We can see the breakdown as a percentage and what the average spend is. And this was super easy for me to get. Now let's switch gears a little bit. I want to know more about revenue, and I want a breakdown of the revenue that our sellers on our platform are getting. And I want to get a breakdown by quartile. This is awesome. It gave me that answer pretty quickly. And this is a fairly complex query it had to generate to answer that question. There's a bunch of CTEs that it's created, and it's doing some window functions over here as well. Now, there's a few interesting things happening behind the scenes. One is that Defog works without getting access to the actual data in the database. Instead, it's trained on just the metadata. So in the example I just showed you, we were using a Redshift database, and this is the schema for that database. It's got the column names, the data type, and a description of what's in each of the columns. This information is super important because it helps Defog understand what's happening in each of these tables, what kind of data is in each of the columns, and importantly, how it should actually join tables to create the kind of queries that we just saw. The second is that Defog learns your unique business rules. So you might have specific definitions of metrics, you might have industry or regulatory codes you need to stick to. And Defog learns all of this and applies that to answer questions. So in this example, just a very simple one is that, I wanted to calculate the amount of sales based on the commission earned and not based on the actual price for the ticket. So it will actually be able to take that into account. And just the final thing I'll highlight is that users can give Defog on an ongoing basis, so it improves continuously over time. And so over here, we've got this thumbs up and thumbs down icons over here. I can just give it a thumbs down if I think this query was incorrect or could be written more efficiently, and Defog will take that into account and improve the queries it creates. That's all for me. Defog keeps your data private, it can handle complex data workflows, and it lets you control LLMs for data analysis. Thanks for watching.